All my niggas ride for me. I got niggas that'll die for me. You niggas ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood gets spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cap built like that. Cause niggas get killed like that. When you ain't built like that. You niggas ain't built like that. You was never on the block, you ain't never dodge a knock. You ain't never fought another crew holding down the park. You ain't swam with the sharks, you ain't wrestled with the gators. You was never fucking popping, you ain't got the fucking haters. Bitch, niggas like you make me watch out for the traitors. When you around some real niggas, mind your behavior. I will beat the nigga ass, then I'm laughing like I'm Jada. Get your fucking mind blown like a cartridge on a Sega. You niggas want attention, they don't want the war though. Talking all that shit, but you got a glass jaw, ho. They never deliver, they got that DiGiorno. This that Walking Dead flow, I eat a rapper torso. You ain't the same man when you off the microphone. You ain't never broke a bone, you ain't never had a scar. You a certified pussy, so make me pull your car. I'm a certified prophet, respected like the word of God. Cause you ain't got the heart, nigga, you ain't got the heart. You ain't about to finish any beef that you start. You ain't never been a soldier, little nigga, play your part. Claim your natural spark when you ain't got the heart. Cause you niggas ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood gets spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cap built like that. Cause niggas get killed like that. When you ain't built like that. Run around talking like a thug when you won't bust a slug, man. Niggas get killed like that. Acting like you bang for the set when you ain't blood or cuz, man. Blood gets spilled like that. Niggas saying really they the plug, but they talking to the judge, man. Get your cap built like that. Cause niggas get killed like that. All my niggas ride for me. All my niggas ride with me. I got niggas that'll die for me. All my niggas ride with me. You niggas ain't.
Yo, there comes a time in everybody's life when you gotta make a decision. You gotta decide whether or not you're gonna die on your feet or live on your knees. Yeah.
This is a Tricky Beat production.
Maybe they forgot. Yeah. Maybe they don't understand where we're coming from. It's history in this. Understand? Let's take a trip back 400 years ago in the world we didn't know. When we stepped off the boat, when our feet touched the earth and they discounted our work. See, they tore our families apart, put our face in the dirt. But we rose, no love, no help, no shelter, no clothes. The deepest depths of this darkness we have to expose. To see now, this truth is hidden for the love of the money. So if the beat not poppin', some niggas just won't feel it. Dummies, yeah, I said it. I hope that you get it and let that shit stick to you like the blunt when you wet it. This is emergency shit, bro. And I'm paramedic, you're not feeling your pain, hatred, and use anesthetic. So I'm like, who's rolling with me? Exposing the mystery and scared niggas like this the master gon' beat me. There's only one mic to give a fuck about who feel me. Waking up the people and for that they gon' kill me. It's like you saying progress, I'm saying regress. Cause the shit that I'm hearing got niggas wearing a dress. But we smile, give them dap, and then we say that he wild, not knowing it's probably something that he hit as a child. I digress. I only want to give my people the best. That's my heart and my soul, and leave them blood such the rest. Cause they don't sleep at night, seeing and fearing all the flashes. Niggas feeling trapped and I'm not overreacting. The police is killing niggas, that's their first reaction. Then they let the fucker walk, that creates a distraction. Y'all keep saying that it's love, but I see fatal attraction. If it's love, then why don't you come and say you sorry, Miss Jackson? After rape, we kill each other, it's like mad subtraction. That's numbers on top of numbers if you dealing with fractions. Who am I to tell my people we ain't due for some action? I can go on and on with this chain reaction. I'm like, who's rolling with me? Exposing the mystery and scared niggas like, is the master gon' get me? There's only one mic, I give a fuck about who feel me. Waking up the people and for that they gon' kill me. It's like, who rolling with me? Exposing the mystery and scared niggas like, is the master gon' get me? There's only one mic, I give a fuck about who feel me. Waking up the people and for that they gon' kill me. It's like, they try to contest the message I stress that being black hurts, we tired, we ain't getting no rest. Turn on the radio, the messages are mobile like this. Kings and queens when they say the damn thing with your chest. Got some people with their fists raised ready for war. They know we running out of time, the crowd screaming for more. Everybody wants the ball, but not to even the score. You see the true first, we dying, we ain't living no more. Everybody wore a hoodie when Trayvon got shot. Mike laid in the street for his body to rob Eric Gardner. Shot the devil, she led to the slaughter, John Crawford. Shot the devil, 22, you a father to me, right? Shot the devil was only playing the game. Sandra Bland, just say her name, cause she's saying the name. Equality means nothing if that ass don't change. So if we keep killing each other, who the fuck do we blame? And I'm like, who's coming with me? Exposing the mystery and scared niggas like, it's the master gon' get me. There's only one mic, I give a fuck about who feel me. Waking up the people and for that they gon' kill me. It's like, who rolling with me? Exposing the mystery and scared niggas like, it's the master gon' get me. There's only one mic, I give a fuck about who feel me. Waking up the people and for that they gon' kill me. It's like, yeah. And for that they gon' kill me. It's like,
This is a I.S.U.P.K production.
If I'm saying you ain't shit, but really you want it. Couldn't tell me shit you ain't did, but nigga you want it. Bad as fuck ain't denying, cause nigga you want it. Nigga left you for a side chick, but really you want it. 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 You brought it. They had a plan out for you and me. They put dope in our community. Had it plotted out the ruin I see. Fucking up the unity. I made a girl on the north side. Used to keep it when I don't do this shit usually. Her daddy was a crack fiend. Mama wasn't there. Now the scene what he can do to me. Meanwhile, house full of real estate. New car on the interstate. Moving from the pulpit. Money going into play every Sunday. Now the preacher got a jet off the shores of the Pompeii. Off the runway. While the people still hungry, down by the gunplay, by the one way. To those that were born there, families destroyed and got torn down. The crack epidemic, chemical warfare. Raised on a black house home by the CIA. They admitted in a 400-page document that they brought it by the boatload many days. Hey, wonder why I speak on it. I gotta put Z on it. Keep it so strong in the city, you get a chicken, better put a leash on it. Everybody from the high school that lost about 3 homies. The way they treat us like cool, everybody went to sleep on us. Baby, I'm saying you ain't shit, but really you want it. Couldn't tell me shit you ain't did, but nigga you want it. Bad as fuck ain't denying, cause nigga you want it. And nigga left you for a side chick, but really you want it. 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 You brought it. You brought it.
All right, Shalom, Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding General Yahanna. If it is not of the I.S.U.P.K, it is not of the truth. My name is Priest and Officer of 50 Mayad, and this is the Milwaukee class. Well, as usual, Israel, during the course of a week in this oppressive kingdom, so many things happen that it's actually sometimes hard to fathom and hard to speak of all the things that happen inside of this kingdom. From one week to another, we never know. I mean, we never know what Esau is going to do. Hell, what our own people are going to do. It's the Most High has put a spirit in this world and on this kingdom and on our people that it's we live in unpredictable times. We live in times where day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, we don't know what's going to happen. Hell, everything is going on in this world from more brothers and sisters getting shot and killed by the police. One sister, it's another reason, one thing I wanted to briefly touch on, because our topic today is going to be that a virtuous woman is a gift from the Most High. And anyone that denies that, you don't know a virtuous woman or you don't know the Most High. I'm going to get into the scriptures and we're going to break that down in a moment, because we've had everything happen since the last time I held a class, from the whole Jada Pinkett and August Ostina, Will Smith triangle debacle, Megan Thee Stallion getting shot in her feet, Nick Cannon coming out and speaking the truth and saying that we're Israelites, which is the absolute 100% unadulterated truth. And he called our oppressors and the imposters savages and animals and beasts. And he was 110,000% right. Okay, nothing that he said was a fabrication or a lie. We live in a country ruled by a savage oppressor, And the way they hunt us down, they are like animals preying on a defenseless species. Animals hunt more than just other animals. Animals hunt human beings. Animals sniff out, track down, attack, and eat, prey upon human beings. So nothing that Nick Cannon said was false. He called them beasts. They are some of the most base and savage beasts that you'll ever want to see. They're bloodthirsty. All the baser instincts and things in life, they love. So what was Nick Cannon wrong at? I'm just speaking on that briefly just to say, all these things have happened in the world. Now these things are distractions, but they're distractions that can be learning tools for our people. Things that can be used to teach our people to not be that way or behave like the heathens, and also to wake up. That it's time for our people to wake up. As the scriptures say, it is high time for our people to wake up out of the slumber, out of sleep. We like everything that they throw in front of us. We think for our people to wake up. Salakia. They think that that everything, they make us think that everything is fine. They make us think that everything is okay. That it's okay to be a whore. It's okay to be a whoremonger. It's okay to be an adulterer or an adulteress. It's okay to a certain degree for men to pimp women and women to prostitute themselves to a certain degree. Don't get overboard with it. I don't know how you can not get overboard with being a prostitute or a pimp or a drug dealer or any of the illicit things in this world. But, they say it's okay because, prostitution is the world's oldest profession. That's a lie. Being a prophet of the Lord is the world's oldest profession. And us inside of the U.P.K, we are performing the duties of the world's oldest profession to the T. And we perform it perfectly. So don't let being a prostitute, being a whore, may be Esau's oldest profession. It may be America's oldest profession, because prostitution saved the West. But during the times of the Wild Wild West, we were still slaves. Some of us were freed, You know, we had things like Freetown. They always making moves and showing that we had a little establishment called Freetown. But what always happens to Freetown? Every depiction of that place called Freetown, with those handful of free Negroes who got away from slavery got burned down. The preacher is usually was established or led by a pastor or a preacher. He got lynched and killed. Then, you know, they show the son dressed in all black years later with a scar or two on his face, or maybe a burn mark, and he going out for revenge to kill the white man that killed his daddy. Well, look, those myths ring true to a certain degree. We had little towns that, you know, we established, and we had and we weren't established off of prostitution. We weren't established off the sins of our women. And there seems to be a spirit in the earth right now, unfortunately, because of women like Jada Smith, Salakia, women like Megan Thee Stallion, women like Nicki Minaj, oh yeah, the other Nicki Minaj and her pregnant pictures, you know, women like Nicki Minaj, women like Cardi B. You know, Cardi B said that, you know, she doesn't translate her albums into Spanish, you know, because she doesn't want her music going over to the Dominican Republic, and her mother, who doesn't speak English but speaks Spanish, can hear her music and hear how much of a whore she is, or whore she's being, or portraying, or telling other women it's okay to be in her music. So you see, she doesn't want her mother. She wants her mother to think that she's just another successful black woman, that she's a successful black Hispanic Dominican woman who came over to America, got on TV, and through her intelligence and hard work and strength that her mother raised her to have, that she has risen to the top despite the odds, and that she has done it in a virtuous manner. When in real life, Cardi B is portraying herself to be a whore. She used to be a stripper, so at one point she was a whore. You get what I'm saying? But she doesn't want her mother to know that she was over here stripping and setting men up to be sexually assaulted by transsexuals. She doesn't want her mother to know that she's telling little girls that it's okay to use what's between your legs to get ahead. She doesn't want her mother to know that she's telling grown women to go out and cheat on their men and have other men and do all the things that she's not doing. She's married, happily married, with a kid. She didn't leave her husband. They stayed together. They're still married. They're happily married. So all the things that she's telling these women to do, she's not doing. Nicki Minaj, she's pregnant by somebody. Every time you turned around, Nicki Minaj was in, same with Megan Thee Stallion. They were all in relationships with different rappers and different men. They weren't just running around. I'm sure they have. I'm quite sure they have. But for the most part, you hear about them in all these different failed relationships with different rappers because they're trying to establish themselves with a man. They want to settle down with a man, a successful man or whatever. They want a man. They don't want to run around with these different men every other night like they portray in the music, like saying it's okay to be this way. They don't want to, they don't want to continue to be whores. They want out of that life. Megan Thee Stallion talks about being a boss B word. I'm gonna try not to curse, okay? And how she'll have a man in the kitchen cooking for her and all types of other outlandish things where she's gonna turn her man into her woman, her man into her servant. He's gonna do all types of sexual things on her demand to please her. He's gonna do all these things for her, and in return, what she's gonna do? Give him what's between her legs, which he can get from any woman. You know what I mean? But then she turns around and gets shot in the foot by her friend or whatever, the so-called shot by the brother, allegedly by the brother Tory Lanez, because I don't know what happened. They was in the Jeep together with another friend, and she gets out limping and hobbling because she got shot in both feet. So whatever happened, now she wants to talk about how black women are unprotected, how black women have no protection, and black men are protecting black women. Now, I'm not saying what she's saying is false. Her statement was true. Black women are the most unprotected, some of the, if not the most unprotected woman in this entire nation, in the world. Black men, we do need to do a better job at protecting and securing our sisters and making sure they're safe. We do. We really do. However, though, on the other side of that, sisters, you can't be protected if you don't want to be protected. You can't be protected if you want to run out in the streets 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, curse out any brother that try to tell you that you shouldn't be out there in them type of hours, getting drunk, getting high, shaking your booty in the club, twerking on your knees on all fours, winning twerk contests, you know what I mean? Out with your girls with your tongue hanging out, talking about hey and all that crap. And you're out in the middle, and you out in the club, and then when something happened to you, you want to holler about how black women are unprotected and how black men aren't protecting black women. Sister, you don't want to be protected. That's the problem. You don't want protection if you're acting that way. You don't want a man out there looking after your best interest. If you put yourselves in a horror situation, you cannot get upset at anybody but yourself when horror circumstances happen to you and horror things happen to you. If you're out in the club, listen, people get shot at the club every damn weekend, all across the world, not the country, the world. Every club in the world, there are gunshots, people getting shots, fights breaking out. I went to Bermuda, the people outside the club fighting, machetes, some people get shot. A lot of times it's sisters fighting over a man, men fighting over women, brothers fighting over petty stuff. You go into China, the Chinese are out there shooting the club up, fighting over men and women and men and drugs, and you bump me and I'm too drunk and I'm such and you disrespect this. And that's what happens in club environments all over the world. So sister, if you are out in an environment where violence can randomly occur, sexual assaults randomly occur, you're putting yourself in a dangerous environment where dangerous things happen. And I personally have been at the club and told the sister, hey, sister, be careful. You don't run me. You don't what? You think I can't handle myself? I'm a grown ass woman. Okay, grown woman, go ahead about your business. You see, we live in a country and a society where we cannot protect our sisters without a backlash. Not just from society, but from the very women, the very sisters we're trying to protect. We're trying to look after you. We try to make an encouraging statement or tell a sister that, you know, you shouldn't be this way and you shouldn't act that way and you shouldn't do these things. And it's not to control you, but so what if we're trying to control you? So what? I recall a conversation a brother had. I saw a brother talking about a conversation he had. I just happened to overhear. And he was saying that he was speaking to, what was it? I think he was speaking to an Arab at a store. And they were talking about something that recently happened. And they were talking about the things that are going on in the world and women and life. And the Arab man turned to that brother and said, you know what? He said, he said, we don't worry about our women. He said, you know the difference between our women and yours? He said, what? He said, we don't worry about our women. You know, our women aren't out here you don't hear about Arab women really getting kidnapped like that, or shot at the club, or ran over, or beat up, or raped at the club, or all the things that you hear happening to black women. That's when all the sisters first started mentioning. So you don't hear about a bunch of Arab or East Indian, women missing like that, do you? He said, no, you know what? As a matter of fact, I don't. He's like, you know why? He said, no, why is that? He said, because our women stay home. We still have control over our women. We make sure we know where our women are at. We make sure our women are at home. We make sure our mothers and our daughters and our sisters and our wives and our aunties and our girlfriends or whatever, they're at home. He said, we make sure we know where they're at. They're at home. We make sure that they're at home. They still follow us. They listen to us. Y'all don't have control over your women. So that's why your women, that's why all these things happen to your women, because your women are out all times of the night, walking down the street by themselves, or 2 or 3 of them walk thinking that it's safety in numbers. What are 3 women gonna do against one vicious man? Truthfully. Or a van roll up with full of brothers and it's 3 or 4 sisters by themselves, but it's 5 or 6 brothers in that van. What are they gonna do against that? Safety in numbers. That's an illusion. And all of that behavior, all of that I'm grown talk, all of that wanting to go out and party in the streets and shake your behind and twerk in the club and sleep with different men, all of those are Horus Jezebel spirits. Those are demons on you, sister, that have been put on you by this world. And what they're going to do is they're putting you in danger. They're putting you in situations where you cannot be protected by your father, your brother, your uncle, your cousins, the man who has a crush on you and has liked you since high school, the man at your job who would give you the world if you would just give him the time of day, the man that talked, that nice guy that stopped you in the streets and was respectful and got your number, that tried to get your number but you turned him down, that brother at the club that was really, that one didn't come up to you in a bogus manner, but a respectful manner, maybe. But even outside of the club, every woman has men in their life or has a man somewhere around them that would give them the world and would protect them with his life. But a lot of you want to run with that feminist idea talking about you don't need a man. You do need a man. Just like men need women. We need y'all. You need us. That I don't need a man mentality, thought, and spirit has resulted in about 80,000 now and rising sisters all across America being missing. They're gone. They're gone, vanished off the face of the earth. So they're either somewhere overseas, sex traded off, will never see home again because they're off in some sex trade, being drugged up and raped every day. Every day. Or they have gotten kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and killed, and they're lying in some shallow earthen grave somewhere. Or they've gotten their organs harvested somewhere, and they're in another shallow earthen grave or landfill or mass grave or storage warehouse where they're being chopped up and their bodies and parts are shipped all over the country into universities, to be used and experimented. There are so many variables in this world of what's happening to these sisters that have disappeared. And the men of the I.S.U.P.K, we love our sisters. We love you, sisters. We love these sisters that have disappeared. And it breaks our hearts that more and more of our sisters are disappearing. It breaks our hearts and hurts our souls to see our sisters be so disobedient. To see sisters want to be like Megan Thee Stallion, to be like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Jada Smith, and various other women. If you're out here celebrating what these women do, you're no better than these women. You are these women. These women are whores and adulterers. They're not to be trusted by any man. Old phrase, you can't make a whore into a housewife. Will Smith just learned that the hard way. He just learned that the hard way. Where his so-called virtuous woman that he loved so much and they were the ideal couple, #goals. When you're talking about couple goals, And who you trying to be like? You said Jada and Will. Well, lo and behold, the Lord just exposed, the Most High just exposed Jada and Will Smith's whole relationship. That crap was faker than a $3 bill. It's fake the whole time. You know what I mean? I'm sure at some they've had their loving points and blah 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 blah, but you know they're talking about they were separated. But when did you ever hear of this separation? Will is diving on his sword, looking like the softest brother on earth to protect Jada. He's doing what real men should do for real sisters. Real men should do for virtuous women. Not for an adulteress, not for a whore, not for a slut, not for none of those things. What she did was wrong biblically, socially, culturally. She took advantage of her son's friend. Her son brought his homie to the crib. That means she was plotting on that little brother as soon as she saw him. How long were they sleeping together? How long were they in this adulterous affair? See, we're finding out about it on the back end. And now you got sisters that want to argue about the rights or wrong of Jada and Will did this and he slept with this and he did that. Here's my thing. Speculate all you want. But we know for a fact what she did. We know that for a fact. We know for a fact that she tried to use her box to heal her son's friend. Okay? He brought his friend August to the crib. August had family issues. He has mental health issues. And he had drug addiction issues. A tortured soul. And Jada just took so much sympathy on this tortured soul that she decided to sleep with him to heal him. Isn't she just so spectacular? Isn't she such a great woman? Isn't that the type of woman that you want your son to end up with? That when they have kids and they're in their 50s, and the kids are in their 20s, that's, you know, she brings, your son brings his homie over, and your grandson bring his homie over, and your son's wife goes and sleep with him to heal the poor little tortured soul. Man, look. A shameless woman, okay, that's enough of this, is counted as a dog. Okay? As a dog, according to the Most High. Now, what we need in Israel and what every woman needs to strive to be is a virtuous woman, a woman of substance, a woman of morality, a woman of virtue, a woman who, as the scriptures say, our sisters were so delicate because of their virtue that their feet would nearly touch the ground. Because of how delicate they were. That means your feet wouldn't touch the bare ground, sister. You saw the movie Coming to America. We had to get rose petals underneath your feet. Because that's how delicate you were. That's how virtuous you were. That's how beautiful you were in your spirit and in your ways and in your actions. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to be a woman that your father is proud of, that your brother, your uncles, your cousins, the men on your family are proud of you and want to protect you and won't let some man just come up and do anything he wants to you, misuse you, abuse you, and toss you to the side, because you are that great, virtuous woman. And if a man did that to you, there would be problems. And I mean problems. Let's see here with let's pull up a scripture real quick. We're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 128 and verse 3. Psalms 128 and 3. Thy wife, see that? Not your girlfriend, not your lover. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. A fruitful vine, not a weed, not a thorny vine, by the sides of thine house. A fruitful vine on the, you ever see these big old houses when you're driving cross country, or maybe in your neighborhood that's been there, you know, you go into certain areas, you might see an old man, whatever. And they have the vines growing out the side of the house. Now, a fruitful vine are the ones when you ride past the house and they got the vines on there, but you got the, you know, you got bright, colorful fruit and vegetation growing off the side of those vines, and it accentuates the house. It makes that house look glorious. It gives that house a character. It gives that house an accent. It gives that house something that no other house on the block has. So that's what a wife should be. Thy wife should be a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. You should be that fruitful vine. You should be in a fruitful vine. You use the same visual. The vine growing out the side of the house, if it's fruitful, that means the house can eat of the fruit of that vine and survive. In good times and especially in hard times. That's what a good wife, that's what a wife should be. A wife should be a fruitful vine. A wife should be a source of substance, a source of abundance, a source of health and energy and fullness. You know what I mean? Something that helps provide to the house to make it stand out and look glorious, to make it look better than any other house on the block or in the neighborhood or in the area. Your wife, as a wife, you should be that special thing in that house. You should be that substance, that substance inside of that house that the husband and the kids can live off of, live with, and live off of. Not a demon, not a monster, not some loudmouth beast, some loudmouth monster that just drains the energy out of everything around it, always complaining, always nagging, want to criticize the husband for what he don't got and what he doesn't do, and the kids for the things that they do, and they should know better this, but they're not really doing too much wrong. You're just a nagging B word. You're just a nagging bitch. Don't be a nagging bitch. Don't. No one benefits from it, especially not you. You have a miserable husband and miserable kids. But instead, as a wife, the scriptures say to a man, thy wife should be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house, thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Do you see that visual? A fruitful vine, and your children like olive plants. These are things that you can maintain and sustain off of, to live, to make your house beautiful, to make your living environment beautiful at all times. Things to beautify the scene, not make it ugly. Things to accentuate your life and your living. We're in captivity. We're under repression. So most of us don't have a lot. Most of us won't have a lot as long as this kingdom stands. But I'm telling you right now, I look at a Will Smith and a Jada Pinkett Smith and Jaden Smith and Willow Smith, and I look at them and I see the Addams family. I see the monsters. I see ugliness. I see disorder and disarray and chaos and filth. That is not a fruitful household. There is nothing positive, fruitful, or conducive being conducted inside of that house. Will chasing trying to be Mr. Super friendly, everybody's Hollywood favorite guy, and multimillionaire, which he should have, chase that check to make sure that your family is sustained. And he did that in leaps and bounds. But by him being a world famous actor, he was an absentee father. So by him being an absentee father, that leaves the responsibility of the kids on the mother. The mother, who should be a fruitful vine. Okay? The wife, his fruitful vine. Well, he didn't have a fruitful vine. He had a vine of thorns and thistles. And all the things that will pierce and cut and scrape and scar your hands, arms, feet, whatever touches it. You can't eat off of it. You can't grow off of it. Okay? He had a woman who obviously, in her own words, was not emotionally available, as she said, for her children. That means she was a monster to those children. A complete and total monster. Which is not what you want, black man. And which is not what you want to be, black woman. Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, Native Indian man, Native Indian woman. Remember, when I say black, I'm talking to the Negroes, the Hispanic Latinos, and the Native Americans of Taino and Native American descent. Okay? I'm talking to the black and brown people of this country, of this world. I'm talking to all of you. That is black man, Hispanic man, Native man. That is not the type of woman you want to marry. Black woman, Hispanic woman, Native woman, that is not the type of woman that you want to be. A monster. For her saying she was not emotionally available for her kids could not be like olive plants round about Will's table. Instead, they turned into monsters. They turned into monsters themselves. Look at Jada. He looks like he's auditioning for The Walking Dead. That boy looks emaciated. He is so skinny and worn out and burnt out and drugged out and sexually assaulted and misused and tossed about and mistreated that he looks like literally that's what he looks like. Like the soul just is constantly leaking out from. I watch a lot of anime, so what I'm saying, y'all can't picture. Picture if you played Mortal Kombat when Shang Tsung grabbed the character by the neck and he sucked that green soul out of their body and they shriveled up and looked like, that's what the boy Jaden looks like. He looks like his soul has been sucked out of his body. All the life force is leaving him. He is completely dried up, used up. Willow, she 1 second wants to be a boy, then she's back to a girl, then she wants to be a boy. Lord knows that that child right there, you can't read her. But you know it's something wrong. Because at one point, the daughter decided she wanted to be the son, and the son decided he wanted to be the daughter. The son still wants to be the daughter. Lord knows what the daughter really is trying to be. You don't really hear about her no more, but I do know one thing. There was a picture circulating of her when she was 12 or 13 years old, laying in the bed in her underwear with an old Edomite who was in his 60s in his underwear. So they let their 12, 13-year-old daughter have a pedophilic relationship with a grown man. Okay? These are the things that I said you can look at them and tell as rich as they are, that is a destroyed family. Now, on the other side, I've seen families, and there are families inside of the UPK. Most of us, we're dirt poor. Not dirt poor, but you know, brothers are poor, their brothers struggling. I know families that have been dirt poor. But you go in their house, and they're just as happy as they can be. It's so much love in that house. It's so much caring in that house and understanding and hugs and kisses and I love you, mom. I love you too, son or daughter. I love you, dad. If the dad is there, even if not, I've walked into houses where, yeah, they might not have a lot, but they had an abundance of love. I grew up in a house where we might not have had a lot, but we had love. When my parents were together, they loved their kids to death. They went through that rough patch and broke up and divorced, and my mom raised us the rest of our lives. When we were younger, my mom raised us for the rest from young kids to grown men, and the one thing, well, I might not have had a lot. I had a lot less once my mother and father split up. But one thing I did have in my household was love. My mother loved her kids and she sacrificed everything because you know what? My father, the streets got him, okay? He didn't appreciate the woman that he had. And yeah, she was bitter for a while in her life. But guess what? She loved her kids. And she had to play that double role of mother and father, which made for a lot of tough situations for me being the trailblazer of trouble. But I grew up in a house of love. I know people that grew up in a house that had love, that had a lot of caring, that had a good, strong, a real strong woman, not some I don't need a man face, I want to be independent face woman. Because that's not being strong. That's being rebellious. That's being ignorant. Because as soon as something happens to you, then you want to run out and talk about how, like Megan Thee Stallion, you want to run out to the club all types of hours of the night, sleeping with all these different men, shaking your butt, shaking your stinking behind up in the air every chance you get, twerking and gyrating and rotating everywhere on who knows who, and then hanging out with whatever man you want to, and then at the end want to talk about how black women are not protected and y'all need to be protected more and y'all are the unprotected species and blah 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 blah. What if you'd have been if you become a better example of what a woman really should be, if you act like a virtuous woman, then you wouldn't have these problems. You wouldn't get shot in your feet. You wouldn't be Della Reese talking about I got shot in my pinky toe. Got shot in the pinky. Megan Thee Stallion got shot in the pinky toe. She thought she was Della Reese. Now she in the hospital begging for protection. Now she not gonna feel safe around her little friend that shot her in the damn feet. Because she did not want to be that virtuous woman. The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, in verse 22, says, whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. Whoso findeth a wife. Now, we all know, well, we in the UPK know, we've told you all every time we get sex is marriage. Okay? So be careful who you pick, black man, Hispanic man, Native man. Be careful of the sister that you pick. Because you want to find you a woman of substance. You want to find you a woman of value, of virtue, of morality, that is not trying to be in the club every weekend with her ratchet girlfriends who can't keep men. Hell, she probably the girlfriend that can't keep a man. Because if you got a woman and all her girlfriends got men and she don't, guess what? She the one that can't keep a man. That's the reason why. Her girlfriends are going off and getting married and she's just getting older and dating more. It's a reason why. It's a reason why. Because she is not what this verse says. Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. Obtaineth favor of the Most High. So a virtuous wife, a virtuous woman is a gift from the Most High. Now, no one's perfect, but we strive for perfection. So you're going to have to work with that woman. You're going to argue. You're going to have to check her because she got demons on her like every woman does. You're going to have to fight her demons. You're going to have to help her overcome her shortcomings and obstacles and running that mouth a little too much. You're going to have to check it. You can check it softly, and sometimes you're going to have to check it hard. But whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. If you find a woman that you can spend the rest of your life with, you have obtained a favor from the Lord. That's a gift the Lord bestowed upon you. Do you hear that, black woman? Now, they say in the UPK that we hate women. We do not hate you. This is how we view you. You are a gift from the Most High. You are something to be valued and treasured. Through you, we obtain favor of the Most High. You can tell, so I'm paraphrasing that, it says you can tell how a man, can run a nation by how he runs his household. We're going to get into those that's a scripture we're going to get into. But you have to understand, we don't hate black women. We love our women. We cherish our women, but we want our women to be their best. We want you to be that gift, because there's brothers inside this school that need wives, that need women, that need good women. It's hard-working brothers in this school that work hard day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, month to month, year to year, to lift up our nation. And we need wives. We need good women at home that we can come home to, that can have a meal for us, that'll cook for the school, that'll come in this school and work just as hard as we do, that'll dedicate their lives and themselves to the Lord as we have, that understand, that are willing to open their minds and understand what these scriptures are saying and understand what the Lord is talking about when he put that order in place of the order of a man and a woman. Okay? And let me pull that up. It's a lot. Because everyone thinks that the UPK, the men of the I.S.U.P.K, are just a bunch of male chauvinists. The men of the I.S.U.P.K abuse women because look how you talk. Look, if you out of order, sis, and you running your big mouth on Facebook, you're being, a lot of men on Facebook become internet tough guys. All of a sudden now you're a righteous crusader for women's rights on Facebook and you the internet tough superwoman. Well, here's the thing, sis. You get out of line with a brother, he's going to get out of line with you. See, a lot of brothers have tried that, and I'm getting fed up myself. I try to talk sensibly. I try to negotiate. I try to make sisters see where they're wrong, but you all get very, very disrespectful with your little mouths. And the moment a man calls you out of your name, then you get your feelings hurt, and you want to talk about how I.S.U.P.K is this, that, and that. Well, why don't you check yourself first? Didn't your daddy tell you not to act that way? Try to fight a man or be out here arguing with men? Didn't your mama tell you that? Weren't you raised better than that? Weren't you told how to stay in your place? If not, don't worry. We got a bunch of brothers in here that'll teach you how to do that masterfully. And I know it's some neck rolling going on right now, some eye rolling, some yeah, whatever. I feel that spirit coming through this camera to me right now. So I'm talking directly to you. To you. Yes, you. Get your spirit in check. Get your head out the clouds. Get your ass off your shoulders. Get your mind right. Get your spirit and your soul right. Stop thinking you know everything. Stop thinking that you don't need a man and you equal to a man and you can control a man. Because all of those are lies that are put in your head by this country, by the people that oppress you. And those lies were put in your head so that our people can continue to be oppressed. Because you've been put at the forefront and you follow our enemies. You've been put at the forefront and you have more love and sympathy for a homosexual man, the one that's trying to replace you, than you do for the man that's trying to love you and be with you for the rest of your life, that's trying to marry you, that would love to have you as his wife and protect you. Okay? I'm talking to you, hard-headed. You're not the one that this video is titled for. You're that hard-headed, disrespectful, big mouth monster. I'm talking to them sisters that are beautiful in their souls. humble in their spirits, that know how to treat a man, that know when to be quiet, that are not trying to usurp authority over a man, that are not trying to be the boss, a boss bitch. Excuse me, but I'm gonna say, bitch, you not a boss. You are an employee at best. You don't run a business. What boss are you? You the boss of running your goddamn mouth. And you ain't even a good boss at that. Okay? Learn to shut your mouth. Learn to be humble. Learn to be that virtuous woman that's a gift of the Most High. Learn to be that. This tough love is coming to you, sisters, because I'm on the fellas. Man, look, we on the fellas back all day, every day. Where we reside is at the corner of I'm on that nigga's back and shoulders to be a better and stronger man. That's where we at. All day, every day. But we on you too, sister. We on you too. So don't think this is all about you. So that's your problem. You think everything's all about you. It's not. It's about us as a nation. Because if our households are destroyed, our nation is destroyed. If you take the men out the household and leave the woman, the nation is destroyed. Okay? That's how it is. That's what they've done to us. They've taken the man off the top and delegated him to the bottom and to put the woman on top. And look at this generation of soft, effeminate young men out here that are randomly shooting everything and doing so many drugs that it's astonishing at this point that they're still alive. They popping pills and sipping syrup. Popping pills and on that lean. They sniffing coke. Hell, they even out there smoking crack. Shooting heroin, sniffing heroin. And trying all types of other experimental drugs. And experimenting with each other in some very ungodly ways. Okay? And then they throwing them pills down your daughter's neck. And then they throwing alcohol behind it, and they I'm just gonna plain and simply say they running trains on your daughter. All because you don't want to follow the order that the Most High has given. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. And I'm going to start at verse 2. No, I'm going to start at verse 1. The book of Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1. Be ye followers of me. Now this is Paul talking. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. He's saying, listen to the people in Corinth, follow me. Stop what you're doing. Let it go. Wake up. Follow me. I'm your leader. I was sent here to lead you. It's what Commanding General Yahanna is telling our people. Okay? This is what the men of the U.P.K. are telling our people. Stop. Follow us. Be ye followers of me, meaning the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yahanna. Meaning every officer, every general, commanding, from commanding general to the generals, to the captain, to the officers, even to the troopers. The troopers are capable of leading you better than your black leaders. The troopers are capable of leading you better than you're leading yourself. Because a trooper has come into here and done their 90 days and is shedding themselves of the world, earned them a Hebrew name, earned them a place in this organization, and it's on their way to becoming officers and leaders of men. They're training to be priests and prophets and leaders of men. They have given up the world. We have sacrificed so much to bring these classes and these messages to you. Are we not yet worthy of your admiration? Are we not yet not admiration, but of your following? We sacrificed. Do you think that right now it's Tuesday evening? You don't think there's a lot of things that a man like myself could get into? You don't think when we be out at camp on Saturday, there's not a lot of things that brothers could be getting into? But we're teaching class, we're holding camp. And a lot of brothers have settled down and gotten wives. Some brothers, multiple wives. So we love women. We love our black and Hispanic and Native women because some brothers can't, because we can't get enough of marrying them. Okay? But as the scriptures say, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. So follow us because we're following Christ. Follow us like we follow Christ, wholeheartedly, unconditionally. Follow, because when you follow us, you're not following us, you're following Christ. We're fishing you out of the world so you can properly follow Christ. Okay? Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. Keep these ordinances, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, keep these rules and these breakdowns and that we have delivered to you. Because they come from the Most High. They're the true understanding of these scriptures. Keep these things close to heart and do them and follow them. Because we're doing them and we're following them. Are we not fighting demons? Yeah, brothers have to fight demons every day because it says, when basically paraphrasing again, when you come to the truth of the Lord, be prepared for temptation. Be prepared to be tried and tested. Brothers succeed, brothers fail. A righteous man falls, to paraphrase again, it says a righteous man will fall 7 times, but he gets back up. So we don't stop. We seek counsel. We talk to our brothers, we pray, we dust that off, and we get back up and keep moving. That's what we're supposed to do. Back to the scripture. Now, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ. The head of every man is Christ. So it's nothing wrong with father. That's what I said about, don't forget all of that. I'm independent. I don't need a man. I'm equal to a man. I can do this by myself. I don't blah, 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 blah. No, all that is a Horus Jezebel spirit on you. That feminist devil woman put that on you. And all it leads to is whoredom or lesbianism. It really does. Because you thinking you don't need a man for nothing. What happens when that box get hot late at night? When you get that thumping in that urge for a nice solid rod up in you, you're going to go out and do something with someone you wouldn't probably normally do. Instead of being a man's wife, you go out and become another man's whore. Because you don't want to follow this right here. Let me continue. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man. Period, point blank. The head of the woman is the man. That means we are your head. We're the head of the household. We're the ones in control. We're supposed to be in rulership over you, over our nation. We're supposed to control the house. We're supposed to control our relationships. Stop fighting us because you've been told by these movies and these Horus rap women that you don't need a man, that you should control a man, that a man should be doing X, Y, Z for you. When they turn around, these same actresses in these movies, they go home to their husbands and they cook for them. And they lay down with him and they give him everything he wants sexually in that bed. Those are the ones you see that have been married to their husband for 20 and 30 and 40 years and they're happy. You see them on the movie being some rebellious chick, but in real life, that's called acting. They act that way on screen. They're paid to act that way. Somebody wrote a script for them, hashed out a character with lines, and they performed it to the T. They're acting. They don't go home and be that way. Because you know why? They don't want to destroy their households. These same women that push feminism to us, to you, help break up the civil rights movement with that feminist movement. All right? Those same women go home to their husbands and cook and clean and lay with him and does whatever that man needs him to be done to keep that household secure. And you think she holds back? Because Becky is known for some things, okay? That to the point it's called Becky. You think Sarah ain't giving Bob Becky? But you don't want to. Because Because Lisa done told you, or Mary Ann done told you that, or Sharon, whatever, that, you know, you don't need a man, and you don't need to bow down to a man. You don't need to be on your knees for a man. You don't need to cook and clean for a man. You don't need to do all these things for a man. Black woman, you're strong and powerful. Hear you roar. Yeah, roar your behind in that kitchen, as Cap Marquardt said, and cook me some biscuits from scratch. Show that you got more skill than mouth. Show that you got more love than mouth. There's so many things that you can do with your mouth besides talking and giving your man a headache. Okay? Period. Stop it. Because you've been lied to. You've been deceived. You've been used to destroy our nation. Because the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is God. So, it goes God, Christ, man, woman, then child. Because the woman is over the children. God is first. The Most High is first. He's Christ's head. You don't see Christ bucking up against the Most High. You don't see Christ arguing with the Most High and telling him, I'm equal to you. I don't need no God. I don't need you. You've never in the scripture seen Christ do that. The scripture is the record of Christ, of Yahushua. You've never seen that or heard a story of that. And if you did, then you got a pastor that's lying to you, and you need to leave that church or that synagogue or that mosque or wherever the heck you heard some fabrication like that from. Or that cathedral. All right? Christ don't disobey the Lord. Christ follows those orders. He asked the Lord one time, Lord, can you remove this cup from me? But he said, your will be done, not mine. I'm paraphrasing again. But your will be done, not mine. Not my will, but yours, Lord. He let it be known, like, look, I'm just asking, but if not, then hey, Kana one kind. I'm going to follow that order. And he did, to the T. All right? And the Lord showed mercy on him and made his death quick so that he could ascend to come back. But that's another story. But Christ follows the Lord wholeheartedly without any fight, without any rebellion or resistance. So it's up to us as men to follow Christ the same exact way, wholeheartedly, without any rebellion or resistance. And so it is up to our women to follow us the same way, without any resistance and rebellion, wholeheartedly. If you have a righteous, virtuous man, trust in him and let him lead you. If you have a man of the I.S.U.P.K, let that man lead you. Trust in that man, because he's going to stay with you forever. He's not going to leave you. He's not going to throw you to the side. He's not going to get rid of you. You're together forever. And when the kingdom comes, we'll have rulership, and you'll have rulership under him in the kingdom. This is forever. Because we know that a virtuous wife is a gift from the Most High. All right? So you don't, not following Christ is not what you want to do. Because if you don't follow your man, you're not following Christ. You don't want to be that disobedient, disrespectful, loudmouth creature. You want to be, and the main breakdown that we're going to get into for this, after a couple more little scriptures here, Salakia, is going to be the book of Proverbs. So that Proverbs 31. We're going to get into Proverbs 31. Okay? But real quick, I got one more scripture so you can understand how we see our wives. What the scriptures say a wife is and supposed to be. As I said, it's a gift from the Most High. You know, not something to be taken lightly, not something to be used or abused, but something to be cherished. Something to be loved and treated well and admired. As I said in the first scripture I brought up, it is a fruitful vine. It beautifies your house. It makes your house stand out. You know what I mean? That's what you do in a household. That's how you're supposed to be. So, like, one moment here. I'm gonna get my scripture back. Find it a good thing and find it favor with the Most High. One moment. Oh, that's in Proverbs. All right, so well, let's get into it then. So we're going to go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 31. And we're going to start at verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? See, the prophets knew that it's hard to find a good woman in these trying times. That we would get to an era where it would be hard to find a good virtuous woman, a woman that the Lord would be proud of to call his daughter. Okay, so who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Your value. When it says your price, it's talking about your value, sister. Now, all the things that, I said, checking you, I don't take a word back. But understand, this is also how we see you. Your price, your value is far above rubies. Now, we live in an era where everybody talks about diamonds, but diamonds were not as sought after and as precious back when the scriptures were written. There are jewels in this earth that are far more precious than diamonds. Okay? Rubies was one of them. So your value was far more precious than rubies, than jewelry, than diamonds. Okay? You are more valuable than precious stones. And people kill and slaughter and commit genocide over precious stones. So imagine what we would do for you. Okay? Verse 11, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her. The heart of your husband. Now, we know in the Bible when it says heart, it's talking about your mind. Okay? So your husband's mind, when you marry your man, his mind should safely trust in you. Doth safely trust in you. He should be able to trust you in any and every situation. That you're going to be faithful to him, dedicated to him, and always do the right thing and never do anything that's going to embarrass him or cause shame onto him or to his household. This is what a virtuous woman does. Her husband's mind can be at ease and trust in her and be secure in the fact that he has a good woman by his side. All right? So that he shall never have no need of spoil. So he'll never have need of any spoils, okay? And I'll get further explanation of that spoil that he's talking about because there are a lot of things going through my mind, but he should be able to trust in you that he shall never have no need of spoil. He shouldn't need anything else but you. He shouldn't have to go out to seek additional things outside of you because he can't trust you. He shouldn't have to go and go through great lengths and manner hiding in the bushes and stuff like that, or having the house watched when he leave, and making sure that you don't do anything because he can't trust you. No, he should be able to trust you to do the right thing all the time, by him and by your household, all the time. Because Jada, she didn't do the right thing. She just embarrassed Will Smith. Will Smith is now The crying Will Smith is now with the crying Michael Jordan memes. I've seen Will and they done put wigs and all types of other things on this man, and he is the mockery of the world right now, because his heart couldn't trust, couldn't safely trust in his woman, because you saw what she did. Verse 12. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. A virtuous woman will do good by a man. He can trust her, safely trust in her, that he ain't got to go through no extra lengths to do anything but trust in her at all times in everything. And then because he knows that she's going to do good of him, not evil, all the days of her life. As long as she lives, she's going to do right by that man. She's going to make sure that she does every upstanding thing that a woman is supposed to do for her husband. She's going to turn down the advances of other men. She's not going to sneak behind his back and go and sleep with her son's friends, or go in the club twerking and get shot in her feet, and got to explain to her husband why she got shot in the damn feet. You know what I mean? Who she was with. She's not going to be in the bathroom on her cell phone sneaking text messages and stuff like that, or trying to argue with him to hide her indiscretions, and her infidelity. He'll be able to trust in her, and she'll do good by him and not evil all the days of her life. Let us continue. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She goes out and gets that check. We live in a world where our women are above us right now. The scriptures knew this day would come. Black women make more than black men. See, that whole men make more than women is a fallacy. Because what the truth is that white men make more than women, but they also make more than black men. White women make more than black women and black men. And black women on a whole make more than black men, because y'all are more employed than we are. I've never worked at a job. I said this before. I've never worked at a job where I made more than a black woman, unless I went up into management and that woman stayed in the position she was in. But even when I got into management, white men, white women, and black couples and black women made more than me as a manager. So, let's relieve that fallacy and leave that fantasy at the door. So it says here, she seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. That means she's going to be a go-getter for her man. She's going to do whatever it takes to secure that bag. It's not whatever, but in a righteous way. She's going to seek to secure that bag and secure that check if need be for that household. And if he's making that bag, if he's making that check, she's going to make sure she's doing her part to keep it going and keep it up, that he don't got to worry. Okay? She's going to be a go-getter on multiple levels. Slack it. On multiple levels. Okay? She is like the merchant ship, and she bringeth her food from afar. She's like a merchant ship. This woman is bountiful. This woman is sitting at home. Her man may be at work and have a job, and she got a job, and she's like, you know what, baby, we can make a little bit more money. I'm gonna sew garments and sell them to the brothers and sisters of who. I'm gonna make head wraps. I'm gonna make pickles. I'm gonna make spices. I'm gonna make jewelry. You know what I mean? I'm gonna sew together some logos. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to bring that money into this household, so that our household can be better. So our household can be more bountiful. So we don't have to worry about. You already worried about bills and bringing food in here. So the woman is going to do her best to alleviate that. All right? She's going to be that go-getter. She's going to be like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She's going to come into that man's life and bring her bounty into his life and feed him and help him feed himself and help him get richer and help that household grow, because that's what a merchant ship does. It brings the bounty, it brings the wealth, it brings the food to the merchant so the merchant can wax rich, so the merchant can grow. Let's continue. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her house, and a portion to her maidens. She gets up in the middle of the night and brings meat to her house. She cooks for her man. She cleans for her man. She get up in the middle of the night and make sure when that man gets up the next day that he'll have a meal in the refrigerator that he can take to work and have a breakfast waiting for him. She feeds her maidens. Her maidens are everything from the women that work for her underneath her, like her servants or her maids, her assistants, okay, to her homegirls, to her friends, okay? She feeds and a portion to her maidens. So she's getting up in the middle of the night. A lot of you sisters work that night shift. A lot of you sisters get up in the middle of the night to go and make that money for your house, to help support your husband, to help support your kids, to help support your household. And you even help your girlfriends out. You'll help the people that work with you. You're so beautiful and kind-hearted and loving and humble and gentle that you'll even loan to your co-workers and help them. Okay? Where are we at? Verse 16. She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands, she planted a vineyard. She considers a field. She's, you know what? Hey, baby, that'll be a good idea. We can make some money off. Let's buy that field and plant a vineyard. All right, baby, you handle it. She go and buy that field and she plant a vineyard. A lot of you sisters are good at real estate. I know a lot of sisters that invested in their real estate. That's that buy at the field. You with your husband, you making that extra money, you sewing and hustling on the side, and you getting up in the middle of the night to go work that night shift to get that extra $2 an hour to work on the night shift, and you and your husband are saving and stacking up money, and you see some property and it's in a good, and you did your research on it, talk to your husband, get his permission, go buy that property and grow that vineyard. Do the research, find out everything you need to know about how to buy that property, fix it up, and rent it. Okay? Get that vineyard. Buy that, purchase that field. Okay? Raise that vineyard. Okay? Plant a vineyard. That means you see that field and you start planting something that's going to grow. You see an opportunity. You see something of value, of worth that can bring more bounty to your family, and you go out and you go get it and bring it back to your husband and bring it back to your family and bring it back to your household. You go and you considered the field. That means you saw it. You considering it means you did your due diligence. You saw that opportunity. You went out and researched that opportunity. You weighed the pros and the cons, and you saw the pros outweighed the cons and the benefits that you can bring in. You considered the field, then you bought it. You considered that three floor brownstone. You know what I mean? That duplex apartment, that 3-story brownstone, that 4 or 5 story brick front building or whatever. You looked at it and you considered it. You did your research and your due diligence. You saw the area, the rent, the property tax, the profit that it can turn, how long it would take to turn a profit. You did your work, sister. You considered that field and then you went and bought it. All right? And with the fruits of her hands, she planted a vineyard. And with your fruits of your hands, your hard work and your due diligence, you planted a vineyard. You took a field and turned it into a vineyard. You took that 1 brownstone and turned it into 2. Turn that 2 to 3, that 3 to 4, that 4 to 5, and now y'all got a vineyard. You started with 1 tree, now you got a vineyard, and you can press them grapes and drink that fine wine comfortably. That's one of the many gifts the Most High has given to you. And a virtuous woman, that is one of the many gifts that the Most High definitely bestowed upon you, so you can be a peace and a rest and a prize to your husband and to your nation, not just your husband, because you got to bring that same dedication into raising this nation. But by you going out and planting, considering that field and buying it and planting it and making that vineyard, you'll be able to take your tithes and bring it into this nation and grow this nation. You'll be able to take the priest funds and the tithes and do all this stuff, and it'll give you opportunity to do more work, and your husband to do more work for this, raising our nation up right now. And you be there for him. You be his solid foundation. You be that good home he can come back to, not that headache. All right, let's continue on. She girded her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. That's pretty self-explanatory. You girded your loins, like, I mean, you strapped up. You womaned up. Okay? You pulled yourself together. Like we tell a man, you know, grab yourself by the man parts, lift up, you know what I mean? You grab yourself by your lady parts. Gird your loins, protect your loins, strengthen yourself up. Woman up. Stop being a child all your life. Stop being a little girl. Stop trying to still relive being a teenager in high school. Those days are over. Grow up. Let go of childish things. Gird your loins. Okay? Grab your lady parts. Woman up. Strengthen your arms. Get strong. Stop being that weak little frail creature that any demon can hop on, and you're going to ruin your life and ruin your marriage and ruin your relationship and ruin your family. Okay? Strengthen your loins. Gird up your loins and strengthen your arms. Put on that armor. Yes, you're delicate. Yes, you're beautiful and humble and fragile. But when you girding up your loins, you got to gird yourself against temptation. You got to gird yourself up against your wicked girlfriend who's going to hate on you and hate on your relationship. Against that demon in your head that's going to try to get you to ruin everything that you have going for you. That's what you need to strengthen yourself up from. That's what you need to protect yourself from. That's what a virtuous woman does. A virtuous woman realizes that when that negative thought starts to come in, that's the demon. And she says, get ye behind me, Satan. You're not going to ruin my marriage in my house. I got a man that loves me, and he's not going nowhere. I'm not going to argue with him and be a headache. I see him out here struggling and striving and trying to get it and trying to make it. I'm not going to be a stumbling block for him. I'm not going to be a hindrance. Matter of fact, I'm going to help him get it. I'm going to get my own and add it to his. I'm going to make sure that my man has a peace of mind and a good place to come and rest to, so some love and some loving and a hot meal and a comfortable chair and a comfortable bed, clean clothes. Okay? Gird up your loins, strengthen your arms, strengthen yourself. Stop being weak in that sense. Being gentle, being delicate does not mean you have to be weak, okay? Stop being weak. Stop letting them damn demons tempt you and getting all up in your mind and ruining your spirit and making you something that don't no man gonna want. So you end up 40 and 50 years old by yourself, bitter at the world. Talking about now you don't need a man, you're gonna focus on your career. For what? That career ain't finna lay you down at night and hug you and tell you that it love you. Let you feel the strength of a strong embrace. Protect you from disappearing in the middle of the goddamn night. Or some man assaulting you. Or nowadays some woman assaulting you. That your career, your job ain't gonna protect you from that. Your job is not a hedge around you that's gonna provide for you or give you the strength that you need. It's not. So gird your loins, woman up, and strengthen you with strength, and strengthen your arms. She girded her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She sees her merchant. A virtuous woman knows her merchandise is good. All right? She know what she working with is excellent. She know that she got everything she need to keep a man. She keep her spirit in check. She not out here flirting and running through the streets. She keep her body for her man. She covers it up because her merchandise is good. She got that that good merchandise that every man want. But only her man is getting. She cover that up. She not all out in the streets. She not no headache. She not trying to change that man into some castrated, soft, effeminate version that this world done told her that or what a man should be, because she has no idea what a real man should be, because she's a woman and not a man. Okay? And it says, her candle, Salakia. Where was I at? Salakia. Her candle goeth not out by night. So just because it's nighttime and the darkness fall, her candle don't go out. She's still shining. She shine in the dark, middle of the night, in the darkest hour. When things look grim. When things are at their worst. When it seems like the world is falling down around you and everything is going bad, guess what? That virtuous woman is still shining because her merchandise is good. She done kept herself intact for her man. She don't become a stress point. She don't become a demon in her own household, in her relationship. She's not finna run out and go and cheat on her man. She's not finna run out and start going and getting high and acting all unwomanlike because times are hard, or because you got into an argument, or because he checked her a little too hard and she didn't like it, or whatever the hell excuse you want to use. Her candle don't go out by night. She keep her spirit in order. She keep herself and her house in order. She's shining in the darkness, through the trials and tribulations. She's constant. She's consistent. She's perfecting herself. She's being everything her man and her family need. She's making the Most High proud of her. She's not shaming her man. She keeps that glow. She keeps her light shining. She keeps herself in check. She keeps her foot in step. She's doing the right thing. And when things get hard, she says, hey, baby, it'll be okay. I done some more research. You say I went by another field today. I know we struggling, but guess what, baby? I found a field. It might not be like the other ones. You know, I know it's hard right now. But if we go over here, I'm going to take what I done stashed away and get this little field for us, and then we're going to build another vineyard, and we're going to be back, baby. We're going to come back. I'll go out and get another job, baby. I know you struggling and we struggling. I'll go out and get a job, baby, or another job, okay? I'll start selling cookies, clothes, jewelry. I'll get a side hustle, baby. I'll sell plates so we can make this extra money. She's shining in the night. Her candle don't go out at night just because it's night. She don't give up and fold just because it's hard times. She don't leave out that household or leave out her marriage and find comfort in the arms of another man, or go and bashing her man down to her so-called girlfriends or other women, or on Facebook and social media and all that crap. She don't do that. She don't do that. She keeps shining. She keeps being that bright spot. She keeps being that light in the darkness. She keeps being that inspirational thing for her man. She keeps that light shining because she wants to keep her man focused and not stressed and help alleviate it. And it's a lot of you sisters out here, and I applaud you. Okay? I applaud you for that strength, for girding up your loins with strength and strengthening your arms and being a light in that darkness, for being that virtuous Proverbs 31 woman. Okay? For being that beautiful woman, for being that. I applaud you, sisters, and I encourage you to keep it up. Not only are the men of the I.S.U.P.K watching, sisters, not only is the world watching, the Most High is watching. And that is what matters the most. Not only does your brother see it, your man sees it, but the Most High in Christ see it. And it's being counted onto you as righteousness and virtue, and counted onto your husband and your household. You are being a blessing not only to your man and your household, but to your nation also. Keep up the good work, my sisters. Keep it up and keep doing what you're doing and striving for perfection. Fighting your demons, fighting that spirit, fighting that not listening to your unruly girlfriend who ain't got nothing good to say, who always saying something negative. You done confided in her. Now all she want to do is she waiting for you to bash your man because she can't keep her man. Or she can't keep her man in line. Her man out there doing Lord knows what with Lord knows who. I say cheating because he out there sleeping with other men's wives and women. Might be out there on the down low. You never know. So keep it up, sisters. Don't let the things of this world tempt you against your man. Don't let the things of this world turn you into a whore or an adulterer. Don't let the things of this world push you out of the truth and out of this body. Keep up the good work. Keep your spirit up. Keep your countenance up. And as the scriptures say, do not let your candle, I'm paraphrasing what I just read, don't let your candle go out at night. Shine through the darkness. Shine through that adversity and that hard times. Keep shining. Verse 19, she layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She laid her hands to the spindle. That spindle, she's creating. You're holding the distaff, she's creating. She's making things happen. Okay? The spindle, that's back in the days, that's how they used to, the thread, they hit the little wheel and then the spindle, you know what I mean, with the thread, they either sewing or they pulling it together. So you're either making something or you're pulling it together. That's what a virtuous woman is doing. Verse 20, she stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hand to the needy. You see the poor. You're helping the poor. You're feeding the poor. You're feeding the homeless. You're being such a good virtuous tool for your nation, and not tool as in like something to be used. I'm talking about tool as in something to help repair. You're helping repair the nation. Okay. One way you help the poor and the needy is by supporting these brothers in the UPK, paying your tithes. You see, brothers are going out to camp, and we going out to war. You know what I mean? And we put our lives on the line, and we teaching these classes for 2 hours on it, hour and a half to 2 hours on end. You know what I mean? And you come and feed us. You bring brothers a meal. You bring some water, some juice up in here. You know what I mean? You bring some meals in here so brothers can eat and replenish themselves, especially after a long day at camp. Especially after camp is going on the battlefield and we risking our lives. And you better believe after using all that spiritual energy and all that might and all that force and raising our voice up like a trumpet and fighting against the government, the police, the system, and Esau and our people, we come back famished and tired, like any warrior coming off the battlefield. So one way you can help the poor and the needy is by being a support system for your man, for your husband, and for his brothers that are on the battlefield. Also, you might go out and just feed the damn poor. You might just make plates and give them away. You know, people know if they hungry, they can come to, sister such and such house for a plate. She'll feed them. You give to the needy. You might have some old clothes. Instead of giving them the Goodwill, you go out on the front lawn and set them up and let the sisters in the neighborhood come and take the clothes for free without charging them. Or charge them pennies on the dollar for it because you just going to go give it away. So there's nothing wrong with turning a little profit. So, you can go out and have a small yard sale and have some very cheap prices. Or just give it away. You know what I mean? Very easy. Very simple. That's what a virtuous woman does. 21. She is not afraid of the snow for her household. For all her household are clothed with scarlet. So you're not afraid of the snow. Now the snow can either mean the winter, literally the snow like the wintertime, or maybe getting old. You're not afraid though. Okay? You clothe your family with scarlet. Scarlet is a powerful, deep, rich red color. You know what I mean? Back then, making a red or a scarlet was a daunting task. Certain colors, it took a little extra work to make that. Okay? So you're not afraid of doing that extra work, going that extra mile for your household. You make sure that your family is clothed. You make sure that your household is taken care of. Regardless of the season, of the weather or storm or conditions that will come, you make sure that regardless of what's going on, your family, your man, your children, your household is secure. And you keep that order. You don't try to go ahead of your man, because it says you cannot spoil a strong man's house, lest you first bind the strong man. Paraphrasing the scriptures, okay? Your husband is that strong man. And one of the ways this country binds a strong man is through you, sis. You keep that man tied up in stress and frustration and arguments and petty nonsense, and him having to worry about you going out and getting high with your girlfriends, or you cheating on them, you know what I mean? Or and all that, or you sleeping with her son's goddamn little friends that he bring into the house. You know what I mean? Or you going to the club, twerking and going home with Lord knows who, and coming back 2, 3 in the morning, smelling like a shower, or smelling like, you know what I mean, or smelling like sex, and blaming on you sweating, whatever the case may be. He ain't, you know what I mean? He shouldn't have to worry about that. So you gotta be that stable, constant light. You got to secure your house, sis. You got to secure yourself and secure your household. Make sure your house is properly taken care of. Verse 22, she maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. You make your own clothes. You dress yourself. You know what I mean? You silk and purple. It says silk and purple because back then, purple was a royal color. Silk is a royal fabric. It was elegant fabric, and to make purple silk back in the days, that took some work. It took some dye mixing, and it took some work. Okay. So you make it you cover yourself with tapestries. I mean, beautiful scenery, beautiful clothing, and silk and purple. You dress yourself. You dress nice. You make yourself look good. You know what I'm saying? You keep your appearance up. You keep your countenance up. You keep yourself in order. And you keep your house in order. All right? Verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates. You see what I mean? Her husband is known in the gates. You are a gift from the Most High. You are that light in the household. You are that fruitful vineyard. You keep the coverings. You know what I mean? You cover with the silk and the purple, and you know what I mean? Your family is covered and clothed in the scarlet. Those are rich colors, because you can go and consider a field and then plant a vineyard and be such a blessing to your husband and your household and help enrich in your household and your environment that it says her husband. Salaki, I think I got too excited reading the scripture, lost my place. Her husband is known in the gates. If you were my wife, they said there go my yard. That's why I was that when he rib his wife, you know what I mean? Man, that brother household, man, that rib of his, that wife of his, man, that's a strong brother right there. He got him a good woman. Oh man, look at how that family look. They always dressed, they always sharp. He go out to battle and he come back home. Look, he just came for the battlefield and look refreshed and happy. He got the love of a good woman behind him. His wife or his wives are taking care of him. That his man, you go over his house, it's always clean. It smells like frankincense and myrrh every time you walk in the door. Smell like them fresh incense. Smell like the kingdom of heaven in his house. He eating good. Look, he all glowing. You know what I'm saying? Look, I mean, that brother right there has been blessed by the Lord. Woo, his house is in order. His woman is in order. His kids are in order. You are a blessing. Your virtue becomes a blessing, and other people, other men get to know your husband and your family by your virtue. It don't matter if that brother's out here I mean, it does matter, but I'm just saying, walk with me here. It doesn't matter if that brother's out here super duper powerful in the scriptures and he got all the breakdowns and you know what I'm saying, and he do this and he do that, but he get home and he got hell on earth at home and can't control his woman wicked, or his wives are wicked, and they running around and doing Lord knows what with Lord knows who. You know, he ain't got no peace at home. His house is always in shambles and disarray. His kids are a mess. His house a mess. His wife a hoe. What honor is that? Brother's gonna look and say, man, that brother powerful in the scriptures, but something, you know, Most High punish him. He must be doing something wrong. If that brother go, man, shoot, you see him out every night getting, you know, he stay out as late as he can. He don't want to go home. You know, all the single brothers in the village be hanging with that nigga to 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, getting drunk with him. You know, drinking wine and strong drink with him, and he be the last one to leave because he don't want to go home to that demon he got in his household. You don't want to be known as that. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that. You don't want that to be your husband's reputation based off your actions and also your reputation, because you think you harming a man. All them brothers is also looking at you. The whole nation really looking at you. Because they'll look at that brother and he'll be a mighty man in his nation, can break down scriptures and raise up nations and teach camp and hold class and look behind him. He got 20, 30 powerful men that came up under him. He done raised up nations. He done raised up men that are out here conquering and taking ground for the Most High and doing mighty, glorious work in the Lord. But ooh, he go home. For some reason, he got that demon. He got that evil bitch at home, that evil woman at home. He ain't got no peace, no rest. I feel sorry for that brother. Man, I hope that brother get another wife so he ain't got to go home to that one no more. You know, he can't leave her, but at least he can have, you know, at least go and find him a wife for a couple days a week. He can go get some rest. Okay? Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. So what you do increases your husband's reputation. He'll be known in the gates when he sit among the elders of the land. As I said, they'll admire him. Hey, come here, young boy. Come on. Man, you know what, man? Your household, you know, I see you. What's your rank? You know, okay, how much land you got? How many men are you over? Because you're doing something right. Not only is you out here being powerful in this world, or you coming up in this world, but man, I look at your household, that wife of yours is in order. You doing something right. You need to teach these young men. You need to have her come out and teach these young sisters. Like, man, hey, mighty man, looking good, man. That wife taking care of you. Look at you smiling. As soon as I say that wife, you smiling. You know something going right in that house. Look at that brother right there. Look at brother such and such. Look at officer such and such, trooper such and such, captain such and such, general such and such. Look at these men. They're doing something right. The Lord has blessed them with a virtuous woman that keeps her foot and is following the things in Proverbs 30. He got that Proverbs 31 perfect woman. Oh my goodness. That brother is so lucky. What a blessing. Raise that man up. Give him more land to control. Give him more men to control. Give him more in our nation. Make him a greater man in our nation. Because look how, if he can run a household that way, if his house is that in order, and his woman is willing to follow him wholeheartedly, like he follows Christ, then God dog it, then other men will too. Other women will too. He'll be able to be a leader in this nation. The gates are the leaders. When it says he is known in the gates, he is known in the leadership. He is known by the hierarchy, by the men above, by the men in charge, the elders of in the gates. When he sitteth amongst the elders of the land, he is known by those men that lead. He is known by Commanding General Yahanna. He is known by General. I'm slacking. I'm a little too excited. Let me calm down. He is known by General Hyman, General Haas, General Q. You know what I mean? He is known by all of the generals. He is known by the leaders and the elders of the land. He is known by these mighty men. Okay, because you help him keep his household in order. You're not a point of stress for him. You're a blessing for him. So he's known and respected in the land. Respected. Be that point of respect for him. Be that shining light for him. All right? Let's continue on. She maketh fine linen and selleth it and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. All right, you make fine linen. That's what I said. You got your side hustle going. You got your job going. You making fine linen and you selling them and you delivering them to the merchant. You're being a blessing to your household and your husband. You're going that extra mile to make sure that your household is secured also. When I.S.U.P.K don't say a woman can't work and you got to stay home barefoot and pregnant. We wish that we could solely provide for our women completely and totally to the point where you only work if you want to or if you have to. But we are at the bottom of this society. So unfortunately, majority of us don't have that luxury. So we are from two-income households where the woman and the man usually have to work. Okay? That's just the way it is. But we would love it for that. The only way you would have to work is if we needed some extra money or an emergency came up or something happened where our house was in jeopardy, and then you can go out and side hustle and make and do whatever. Get a job or make you some money on the side and bring it into the pot so that we can live lavishly. That's what it's about. That's what this is. She's making garments. So like, you know what I mean? She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivered girdles unto the merchant. She's hustling. She's a go-getter. She making merchandise. She done found her a hustle, that a lucrative avenue to go down, and so she's making that money. She got the merchants buying from her. Ain't no middleman. She's selling direct. She getting that money and bringing it into the household. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. Strength and honor are her clothing. You are clothed with strength and honor. That is a beautiful thing. They look and say, that is a strong black woman, Hispanic woman, Native woman. That is an honorable sister right there. That is somebody that young women, you should grow up to be like sister such and such. That's who you should look up to. That's your role model. Not Nicki Minaj, not Cardi B, not Megan Thee Stallion, and not Jada Pinkett, not Gabrielle Union, not Janet Jackson, Halle Berry. None of these sisters. That's not who you should be like. You should be like that Israelite sister right there. That's who you should be like. Strength and honor. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. See, she clothes herself with strength, and she clothes herself with honor. And then when that recognition and those blessings come, she's going to rejoice because she did the right thing. Her husband's going to put her on a pedestal. Her husband's going to make sure her feet don't touch the ground for delicate. Man, my wife need rose petals when she walk out. You know what I'm saying? The stuff my wife has done for this household and this nation. She's going to be held on high. She's going to be complimented. Her name will be known. Not only will her husband's name be known at the gates, but her name will be known too. The generals would say, that is my daughter, I am pleased. The Lord would say, that is my daughter, I am pleased. The generals will clap for her and give that sister big ups and honor and props. And whatever you do, do not disappoint these men when they give you that honor and those props. You earned them. Keep yourself righteous and keep them. Clothe yourself with strength and honor. Okay? That honor is going to be, don't do the things you know you're not supposed to do. Don't go against the scriptures. Don't hurt and harm and cheat on your husband. Don't get kicked out of school. Don't do these vile things. Don't go back to being just some average bitch in the world. Some average chick on the street. Don't go back to being an average woman or average chick in the world. Don't do that to yourself. Keep that strength, keep that honor, keep that virtue. Be something that not only your husband and the school and our nation can admire and give credit and props to, but also the Most High can be proud of. All right? She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She opened her mouth. Every time you open your mouth, wisdom comes out. You speak intelligently. You speak wisely. You choose when to speak at the right moments and say the right things. You choose your words carefully. You make sure that your sisters and your brothers around you won't have an ought with you. You speak kindly. You big up your nation, your brothers, your sister, your husband, your children. You humble yourself to be nice, to be something that can be admired, to be loved. The laws of kindness. It didn't say in her tongue is kindness. It said in her tongue is the law of kindness. You ever had that old lady on the street? Everybody had an old somebody. Oh my God, Miss Sarah. You know what I mean? Miss Ruth, Miss Ann, whatever. She is so sweet. Oh my God, that woman. It's not a bad bone in her body. Ain't a mean bone in her body. She is just so nice. She is just so sweet because she developed that law of kindness, and everything she says and does is just so sweet and so nice. You need to be like that at a young age. Don't wait till you're old and gray. Do it now. Develop that law of kindness. Develop that nature about you now. Instead of, right now, as I'm teaching, I hear a woman out there just yelling and screaming and cursing. Walking down the street, yelling and screaming and cursing at another female or at a man or whatever out there. Don't be that. Don't be that. Be this Proverbs 31 woman. Be this woman the scripture is giving honor to, that our nation will give honor to and be proud to call our daughter or our sister, and that a brother will be proud to call our wife. Okay, be that. Be that exceptional woman. Be that extraordinary woman. Be that woman that is not like these whores in the street. Be something different. Let's continue on with the scriptures before I run out of time here. Verse 27, she looketh well to the ways of her household and eateth not the bread of idleness. That means she's not sitting on her butt all day. Talking about, I'm so tired of raising these kids. And you look at the kids and they've been playing video games and playing with their toys all day and your house is a mess. She's not eating that bread of idleness. She's active. She's as the scripture said, she's a go-getter. Okay? She bout something. She doing something. She's just not some lazy broad that's going to sit around and you got to yell and scream at. Man, look. I've seen some women with some trifling households. I know some brothers that got some women that, you know, they don't do their due diligence. You know what I mean? Don't be that. Be that this woman. She looketh well to the ways of her household. That means she looks at her household and sees, she looketh well at the ways. The kids are in order. The rules are being followed. The beds are made. The floors are swept and mopped. The dishes are done. The clothes are done. Our house smells fresh. Our house looks good. The ways of her household. And she eateth not the bread of idleness. She's not sitting around watching soap operas all day or watching Maury and gossip shows and bull crap like that, or on Facebook running her mouth all day looking for the latest gossip. And next thing you know, hours done pass and it's going into the night and your house look and smell like hell. Okay, she's not, no. 28, her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. When her children will rise it up, when her children I'm going to use this too for her children to rise up. When her children wake up in the morning and they smell that breakfast and they got clean clothes, their room is clean, they walk out into a clean household and they call their mama blessed. When they get older, when they arise, when they get older, when they grow and they get grown and they're out, your daughters are out looking for how to be as a woman in the world, and your sons are out looking at what type of man they're going to be in, what type of woman they're going to be, they're going to stock you. When your sons grow up and they look at what type of woman they're going to want to marry in the world, what type of woman they're looking for, they're going to look at their mother and say, man, my mama blessed. I don't want no demon. I need a woman like my mama. I need a virtuous, righteous woman. My mama blessed. Everything she put her hands to, the Most High blessed her. We were struggling at one point. She went out and did X, Y, Z, and she considered that field, and she bought it, and she planted a vineyard, and then, man, we grew up. We weren't struggling no more. Anytime Dad had a hard time, Mama had his back. She ain't bitch and moan and curse him out and roll her neck and call him all types of names or talk about him in a derogatory fashion in front of us. My mama is nice. My mama kind. My mama gentle. She take care of everybody. She'll feed the homeless. She'll do whatever it takes. My mama is a blessed woman. She's a saint. And that's the type of woman I want. And your daughters say, I'm going to be just like my mama. That's the type of woman I'm going to be. All the things I just said, your daughter going to say that about to you and say, listen, I'm not one of these ratchet females out here. I ain't no hoe. I'm like my mama. I'm looking for a man like my daddy so I can be to him the same way my mama was to my daddy and be a blessing on that house. I was raised to be a blessing in my household because my mama was a blessing. She kept our house clean. She kept us fed. That's what this scripture is saying right here. Okay? And her husband also, and he praised her. Man, call her blessed and her husband out. The kids are saying that you're blessed. Okay? And your husband praise you. Your kids are saying, man, my mama was a blessing. My mama has been a blessing. My mama is a blessing to our lives. She raised us right. I want to be like my mama. I want to marry a woman like my mama. You get what I'm saying? And then the husband says, man, I got the greatest wife in the world. I wouldn't trade her for anything. Anything. The Lord blessed me with a spectacular, magnificent, excellent woman. Okay? That's the type of woman you want to be, sisters. And what I'm saying is not so hard. It's not hard to do that. Let go of this world and all that nasty venom that is putting inside of you. All that spite and that evil and that hatred towards men that is shoving down your throat, let it go. Brothers, don't accept these women when they broken like that. We got to stop accepting women who think, oh, I can do this and that because I'm grown. No, you're not, shorty. If you was grown, you wouldn't keep having to say it. You wouldn't act this way. Clean yourself up. Get yourself together. Get into class. Come to the I.S.U.P.K. Okay? Do your 6 months, sis. Shed yourself for this world. Learn what it is to be a proper woman the way that the Most High intended you to be. Not according to us, according to the scriptures. According to our Creator, to our God, to our Heavenly Father, if you want to say that because you're in the church. Okay? According to the Most High. Okay? Not according to Mayad, Officer Mayad. Not according to Commanding General Yahanna or General Muhammad, but yeah, according to them, because we are the priests. Those men right there, they're the prophets of the Lord. They keep this nation together. They held this truth down. They held this nation together, and they rebuilt it from almost desolation. Okay? And I'm part of this new rebuilding. So yeah, listen to us, but if you're not going to do it for us, do it for the Most High. Do it for yourself. Do it for your husband or your future husband. Do it for your kids or your future kids. Don't be selfish. There's nothing out in this world for you but heartache, pain, diseases, and rape. Oh, I'm sorry, and sex trafficking, and drug addiction, and COVID-19, and I could go on. There's nothing good for you out in this world. You're not missing nothing. Most of the nights y'all go to the club with your girlfriends, y'all sitting there taking pictures in the corner and posting them on Facebook talking about how you living your best life. But I be in the club seeing you. Y'all some of the most boring chicks in the damn club. Y'all get up and dance to a little song and dance on each other and wiggle around a little bit and shake your butt, but you're not trying to meet, you're not talking to any of the brothers in there regardless of what. You're usually looking at the wrong brothers in there. One of you gonna get too drunk and piss the other ones off. Y'all sitting around in a group together at the bar getting drunk. Y'all not really dancing. Y'all not really socializing. You're taking pictures and putting up a false image of yourself. You're boring. You're living a lie. And the ones that is out on the dance floor juking and dancing and popping and rolling, you know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of y'all be hoes. Y'all going home with a dude for the night when you have a couple the right amount of drinks. Don't nobody want that. They want you for the night, but not long term. You know what I mean? Come on. Be that blessing. We're almost done here. Verse 29, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters. You know, every woman is a daughter of somebody. Every woman is a daughter of somebody. Many daughters have done virtuously, but you, Proverbs 31 woman, you excel them all. You pass them. You've done greater things than them. You have pleased the Most High. You have pleased Christ, and you have pleased your man. So you've pleased it all the way from the top to the, and you have pleased your kids from the top to the bottom. You done held it down. You've been a light in the darkness. You've been a light in the light and in the darkness. You constantly shining. You a go-getter. You keep it moving. You get that bag. If necessary, you back your man up. You don't give him a headache. You're not a thorn in his side. You're not a pain in his neck. Your children love you. Your man love you. Your nation love you. The leadership admires you. Their leadership sees your husband and admires your husband. Admires you. Girl, you a blessing. You royalty, as the song said when before class started. Baby girl, you royalty. You exactly what a man needs in his life. You're exactly what I want in my life. You're what a brother needs. You lay the foundation and keep the foundation of a home so solid that a man has no choice but to be great in this nation, but to rise up and be admired by the leaders and his name be known among the leadership and among the elders and among the nation and the tribe. And as a woman, by doing that, you are a leader in your own right also. Because other men are going to look and say, God, dog, that woman is all that, which leads the other women of the nation to have to become like you, to at least be curious, to try to change their ways. You set an example, because other daughters have done virtuously, but you excel them all. You pass them. You've done more than virtue. You've become extra virtue. Virtue and honor and strength are just flowing from your pores. You're beautiful. And it's not physical beauty that we're talking about here. It's everything else. Your spirit, your work, your energy, your personality, your character. Everything about you is beautiful, sis. We live in a very superficial and shallow world, okay? Well, brothers get a beautiful woman and they say, brother, you lucky. Woo, you got that? Yeah, but that could be a beautiful, I've had a beautiful demon in my life. Absolutely beautiful. I walk down the street with the sisters tell them, oh my God, you are so pretty. Brothers looking left and right, looking at me like, hey man, all right, bro, you got you. But behind closed doors, she gave me a headache. She's a demon. This when I was in the world. This is the man I used to be. So I know I've had plenty of beautiful demons in my life. I'm not just going to say that one or two. I've had plenty of beautiful demons in my life. I've had beautiful monsters. I ain't going to say demons. I've had some beautiful monsters. I'm talking about fine, gorgeous monsters. All for nothing. Let's keep on. Verse 30, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. See what I mean? It's not about your looks. Okay? It's not about your popularity. It's not about how much you're liked or how many people perceive you, because all that is deceitful, and your beauty is vain, because that beauty can be hiding a monster. You can be a beautiful monster. You know what I mean? But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. So if you're that beautiful Proverbs 31 woman, if you're following the scriptures, if you're a blessing onto your household, if you're doing virtuously, if your husband can be recognized for your work and how you keep that household, and it be all over his countenance, you will be praised. Not your husband will be favored, your husband will be praised, and so will you. Your name will go down. Your name will be spoken of favorably. Not in circles like, oh my God, that, I feel bad for that brother. No, you'll be raised, you'll be lifted up and raised up. Verse 31, give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Give you of the fruit of your hand, give you the credit that you're due for your hard work, for your sacrifice, for you being virtuous, for you keeping yourself proper in your household and your husband and your children. Not only will your children call you a blessing, not your husband will call you a blessing. You will be praised. And not only will you be praised, that praise is you'll be praised amongst our nation, amongst your brothers and sisters, but it also says your works, let her own works praise her in the gates. Your works, what you do, will praise you, will speak for themselves. The gates, once again, are the leadership. So the leaders of our nation will see your works, and your works will praise you. Your works will be your virtue. What you do and how you act and how you raise your house, your children, and keep your house in order and keep your husband happy will praise you in the gates. It'll praise you with the leadership, and our nation will see that, and you will be a woman of renown. You'll be a woman of virtue that everyone is proud of. You'll be a woman that other women should be like, would be like, are striving to be like. That other husbands will say, why can't you be like Officer Mayad's wife if you were my woman? Why can't you be like that? Look at their household. He is in love with that woman. He calls her a blessing. He praises her and raises her up every time. She does work for this nation, the feast days, cookouts, Passover, everything. She is there. She's working not only in her house, but for our nation. The generals are always praising her, and she has not faltered in her steps. She's dedicated to that man. She's faithful to that man. She's a virtuous woman. She has done virtue and excelled other women who have done virtuous in this nation. There are women that have shown virtue that have faltered and fallen. It don't have to be you. There are women that have shown virtue in this nation and they're still going, but you can show virtue that excelleth them. As it said, excelleth. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. You can be the cream of the crop, sis. Get yourself in order. Humble yourself. Let go of your pride. Let go of the evil, deceitful things of this world. Stop trying to be like these whores and harlots and Jezebels and adulteresses. Okay? Let that go. It's not worth it. It's nothing but death lies in their doorway. Nothing but death lies along the path that they're leading you to. Be a gift from the Most High. A virtuous woman is a gift from the Most High. As the scripture said, the scripture said that. It's not just me. Okay? I'm repeating to you what the Lord said about a woman of virtue. All right? So, sisters, with that, my name is Priest and Officer Mayad, Officer 50 Mayad. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. And if it's not of 1 West, I.S.U.P.K, It is not the truth. And with that, that is the end. This has been the Milwaukee class. Shalom.